All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. If you're an existing subscriber, welcome if you're new. This is my review of my Model S Plaid after 60,000 miles. Did Elon scam me out of my money? You guys are about to find out. Now, how have things been? What is my general perspective and feeling about the car? I'm just going to say this right in the beginning. I'm not going to make you wait till the end. I think it's great. I don't have many complaints about the car or anything that I really truly dislike about it. There are a few things here and there that I don't like that I'll get into later into the video, but those are my general thoughts. I just absolutely love this car. The performance, the tech, the luxury, the capability, the everydayness, the not worrying about things breaking constantly, because equivalent modified gasoline vehicles will break when you tune them out to this much power, 1100 horsepower to the wheels, all that fun stuff. I will get to a performance section of this video, but I just wanted to give you guys my general thoughts right in the beginning. So if that's all you're looking for, see you later. If you're looking forward to the rest of the video. Now, before I do get into the things I don't like, which being what I'm about to present to you is not one of them. This is the Maroni sticker for my 2022 Model S Plaid, manufacture date January of 2022. The beginning price was $139,000. So for those of you that come from the shorts and say your Plaid isn't worth $150,000, now what it's worth is your opinion, but that's how much I paid just for the vehicle. A couple months later, I paid $15K for the FSD. So it's just shy, if I'm doing my math right, which I'm terrible at it, just over $155,000. With taxes, probably closer to $160,000, but I'm counting the FSD, right? So $140,000 plus $15,000, that's already $155,000 plus $5,000 more, right? That's what it is, and that's the price. Now, while I'm on this subject, a lot of you are going to ask, you know, how do I feel about the price drops and stuff like that? Listen, I run multiple businesses. I know what Tesla is doing. They run a business. They're not going to wait, you know, around for me to pay a lower price or whatever. If something is slouching in their product line, they're going to change the prices. We all, you know, take a risk with these vehicles. All luxury vehicles depreciate unless you're buying something that maybe they make a couple hundred of a year, like a Bugatti or maybe like a Porsche GT3 RS, right? And those cars are only worth what they are because the dealerships and the manufacturer make it out to be like that. Now, you guys all know this against a Chiron in the quarter mile or a Porsche GT3 RS, it's no competition, you know, for them against this car. But it's just kind of an indoctrination with those brands, is my opinion on that. But back to the Plaid price drops, you know, like I said already, they're going to go ahead and change the prices. They're going to get more people to come in and buy them. And that's great. More people should have access to more luxury vehicles if it needs to be, you know, regarding the price and stuff like that. There haven't been any major upgrades besides the Plaid badge being in the seat. Obviously, I have the OG seats, red calipers, updated taillights and headlights, and that's it. Everything else is the same. Performance is the same. Everything is the same. And, you know, that's really kind of my thoughts on that. I don't really have much to say. I knew the vehicle was going to depreciate even if they didn't drop prices. That's just all luxury vehicles. I don't know why the internet is making it such a freaking big deal, but that's just how it is. So, yeah, speaking of that, let's actually get into the stuff that I typically don't dislike about my Model S Plaid. The first one being these, I think they're A-pillars, or let's just call them pillars so the internet doesn't roast me for saying the wrong pillar. These are the worst I've ever had in a vehicle for blind spots. I don't know why, but those on both sides, this one more than this one, is just freaking annoying. Now, is it something that would keep me from buying the car? Absolutely not. Coming to the outside of the vehicle, the second thing I dislike is that these Plaids don't come with carbon ceramics. You can see that they're just regular kind of performance brakes from Brembo. Up to 120, 130 miles per hour, you're fine. But after repeated pulls and doing that up to 130, 150, 160 with the optional carbon ceramic track pack that you can only order from the service center. That's the annoying part. For a car that costs this much money, even though right now they're priced $87,090, there should be a little box you could just tick on the website that lets you order the carbon ceramics. Because in my opinion, this car should come standard with them. Majority of Plaid owners share my opinion. I'm not saying these brakes are complete garbage. For the street, they're fine, but I just feel like they should come with a little bit better brakes if you want to take it out on a track day or a performance day. Drag strip, you're fine, but even the drag strip will help. And if you guys haven't seen the track pack on Tesla's website with the track rims, it looks so much better and a lot more aggressive with them, in my opinion. The third and final thing I don't like is that majority of Teslas have this, I guess you could say, issue, but it's not really Tesla's issue, that you might be able to hear it. You heard it there briefly. It's because the weather's a little bit decent. But when you put window tints on any Tesla, usually the front driver's side and the front driver's side passenger, or the passenger right, starts to squeak. Let's see if we can get it to replicate. You can hear it a little bit more there, and that's only when you put tints on. A tech told me it had to do with everything just being so tight and close in there, but that kind of, you know, it's annoying. You would think that it's this, which I don't think this is a quality issue from Tesla. I think my tint guy messed that up, but it is what it is. It's, you know, doesn't let any air in inside at all. But those are pretty much the three things that I dislike about the vehicle. Now, on to what the internet would call the fanboyism, or the things I absolutely like and love about my Tesla Plaid. The first biggest thing, just from the outside, is just the way that it looks. In my opinion, it's very elegant, but it has a little bit of aggressiveness to it if you really pay attention. And I just love that, especially when you have the windows down and the white seats kind of, you know, come out and shine. It just really looks awesome. And not that they're shiny, but they kind of bring out the, you know, vehicle, especially with the blue. I still get compliments to this day about the blue and how they have like a little bit of the daytime running light that's currently off that pretty much, you know, kind of sits with the white seats. I just absolutely love the way that it looks. Now, from the side profile, it's nice. Again, I would want a different set of rims. These rims are just the factory 19s that I powder coated black locally and got some Pirelli tires on them. Now, from the back, I actually like the way that it looks, right? This is the combustion fanboys' favorite point of view, especially all the Detroit muscle guys. They do have the updated tail lights on the new ones. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like them. I like the OG lights better. These are the original Model S lights. And essentially, this is the older kind of charge port door. I almost lost my train of thought there. And it's really nice. The new one kind of like flaps up this way instead of this flapping out. But in general, that's like the major thing that I love about this car, just the way that it looks. Which brings me to my second point of what I love about it regarding the looks, is that so many people underestimate what this is. Now, people that are performance people, or people that watch YouTube and understand vehicles and cars and performance, they know what this thing is capable of, and I get the occasional, a couple times a month, do a pull, we want to see it in person, right? Because when this thing pulls, the whole back goes crazy, like it's lifting out to outer space, right? So it's crazy that it looks elegant, it looks luxury, premium, whatever term you want to damn use, everybody has their term, but people don't understand that this is a Bugatti killer. This makes a McLaren cry, a Ferrari cry. And I know I'm going to get some, you know, comments in the comment section, but until you experience a Plaid, do us all a favor, shut up. That's my advice to you. Until you experience this car and what it's about and the performance, just don't talk. You don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, I love that it doesn't draw too much attention, because as you guys know, for those of you that are subscribers to my channel, I do have a Cybertruck, and that just brings loads of attention. And this kind of looks like a luxury premium, you know, sedan without drawing too much attention. But the best way I can describe this vehicle with its look is that if you know, you know, and you know what it is, right? It's a Plaid. So that's why I love the look of this car. It's just really kind of fits in, but then it's also very elegant and very nice looking. So let's go to the next part of the vehicle. which is the issues that I've had over 60,000 miles. So believe it or not, I only had one issue with the vehicle, and that issue was with this trunk. So inside here, you have a locking mechanism that locks, and I'm gonna demonstrate to you how it works. But inside of there, you really can't see it. There's a sensor, and that sensor runs a wire that connects to the master computer and communicates up there if the trunk is open or not. So we're gonna shut the trunk. So it would do everything you heard here. It would lock, it would not fly up when I was driving on the highway or doing a launch control, but then all of a sudden it would say on the screen, which obviously it doesn't say now, right there, that the whole trunk is open, even though physically it wasn't. So the sensor was an issue. And what happened? You see, Teslas are interesting vehicles because when one feature doesn't work, a lot of other features get disabled. So if I tried using the self-driving or the autopilot or whatever that is that you want to call it at this point, it would not turn on. I could still drive the vehicle. It would just have a doot, 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 every 2-3 seconds of me driving, and then eventually it would go away. Now, sometimes it would come and go, so I had to wait 2 weeks for a service appointment at my house, which was convenient. Mobile Tech came out in a fellow Model S, which was cool, and he literally replaced it under 20 minutes and even taught me, since I was getting close to warranty expiring, because my warranty is out, how to replace it. This panel just pops off real easily. There's 2 wires connecting to this and about 3 bolts. You can buy this part online for $100, which is really convenient that he taught me too. Now, that service visit was covered under warranty. Now, that was pretty much the issues that were covered under the, warranty and stuff like that. Now, you guys might be Plaid guys are wondering why I'm running the 19s. So with the 19s, I want you guys to understand something. This car, the way that is designed, the S Plaid, all of them, from 21 to the new ones, 24 now, which would be 25 since we're almost done with this year, rolling off the line, have this, how do I say, let's just call it an issue. And that issue has to do with the rear camber of the vehicle, or the rear suspension geometry. And what begins to happen is that because this car is designed for these factory 19s, keep in mind that this is the factory 19s, I just powder coated them black locally. These came with the vehicle. And I bought some spare 21s online and I ran them because the car really looks good with the 21 Arachnus that you can buy for an extra $3 to $5 grand. And what would begin to happen is that, you won't see it here, the inner of the tires will begin to rip between 10 to 20,000 miles. And mine ripped at 15,000 miles. Now, to fix that, you would go to a couple different aftermarket companies, Unplugged Performance, Mountain Pass Performance, and I think there's a few other companies. No, this part of the video isn't sponsored by them. And you can't see it here, but there's some lower control arms on both sides that you would replace, get it aligned, and you could actually fix that inner tire wear issue. So if you wanted to run the 21s, or I think the 20s that come on the Model S Plaid Track Pack, don't need the rear camber arms because their 20s are smaller than the 21s, but I have never really investigated or heard people having problems with the 20s from the Track Pack. But that was another issue that I ran into, and that I've seen and I read on Reddit and talked to people in Plaid groups that the service center isn't going to acknowledge. They're just going to say, oh, it's your state's roads. Me being in Michigan, Michigan's shitty roads because they're known for shitty roads. Even though they're well aware, all of the techs, of what the issue is, that it's a kind of a, a camber thing from the factory. But since I have the 19s won't have this issue because the car was literally engineered and designed for these rims and tire size. The 21s looked really cool, and when Tesla was releasing this vehicle, my guess is they were like, with engineering, let's just order these from this manufacturer and slap them on the car without testing them or doing anything like that, or calibrating them properly with the rear suspension, because they don't have adjustable suspension arms. But if they did, lower control arms, excuse me, you could just adjust them at the service center and you don't have to really do anything. It would be a recall, but just, Tesla's a good company, but as many of you know, when I say this, Tesla being Tesla, right? So those were really the only issues I've had in 60,000 miles. Oh, there's one more. I forgot. all of the Ferrari and Lamborghini owners crying because their car is just so slow. Oh my God, and this is just their point of view, you know what I'm saying? This is what they would see. They'll be like, man, oh man, I spent north of 250K just to get gapped by an iPad with a yoke from Temu, right? Hopefully you guys understand sense of humor, or at least have one. But all in all, those first two ones, with that being said, is really the only issues I've had with the car. Other than that, that's it. How has the quality been? You see every other article, every other day, every other YouTube video, every other comment that Tesla's quality is crap, Tesla's quality is crap, Tesla's quality is crap, right? So how has it been? After 60,000 miles, or just about approaching 60,000 miles, or 60,000 even, I gotta look at the speedo, or not the speedo, excuse me, the odometer. It's been freaking great. Now, what precautions did I take? Or again, there was a point, like I told you, that I ran the 21 Arachnas, and those stick out a lot more than these 19s. So you can kind of see it right here. You might be able to, but there's a line right here that I went ahead and PPF'd this panel going all the way down. That's the one that comes factory from Tesla, including both rear doors and both panels back there. Because I noticed that majority of the Plaids that ran the 21s at the times, they would kick up rocks and that part would become white because all the paint would be chipped off. And that's normal for a lot of cars with big fat tires. But other than that, how is everything? The paint is amazing. The interior quality is great. Everything's holding up. A little bit on the driver's seat is a little darker over there just because of the, I would say, clothing transfer. Eventually, I could just replace the seat or find a cheap one online from like a wrecked one and just replace it. It's not that difficult. But the quality's been great. You see my spoiler hasn't moved. The only thing, like I said earlier, that I dislike that might be a quality thing is that little squeak you hear coming from the driver's and passenger side front window when you put tints on. But other than that, the quality has been awesome. I sat in my friend's Lamborghini Huracan, that's a 2019, and everything is made out of the same material. It's plastic. Compared, you know, to this, it's about the same. Things would squeak, things would rattle, and he paid $300,000 for that car. Now, a lot of you are going to argue me with the comment section. That's fine. You can have your opinion and be indoctrinated. Lambo, Lambo, bro. Ferrari, bro. Ferrari, bro. Like, listen, the only real crazy quality we have out here is Rolls Royce, and I've been in a few of those, and that's crazy quality. Which makes sense because they still uphold. But even Lamborghinis and Ferraris aren't built like they used to be. So this whole quality thing is nonsense. I've seen panel gaps on McLarens, Lambos, everything. But people are going to defend those in the comment section of the internet till the end because combustion, bro, Ferruccio Lamborghini, Enzo Ferrari, blah, 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 whatever. Believe what you want. I'm just giving you a straight adult opinion of what the quality is like for this car, what I've seen after I've owned this car and being around cars that, in my opinion, Lamborghini and Ferrari don't even make anything that comes close to this in performance. And we're going to get to that in a second in the performance section. But it's been absolutely great with the quality. No complaints from me personally. So everybody's favorite part, the performance. As we're speaking, we're doing a little launch. You're going to get the whole animation. The front end's going to lower into cheetah stance. And how has the performance been after 60,000 miles? Is this battery degradation a real thing? Let me just do a quick launch for you guys. And there goes my insides. Up to 65. And you can see that it still pulls because including my microphone went into my face that's attached to my shirt. And it's just nuts that after 60,000 miles, this thing still freaking pulls like it did when I drove it off the lot. Now, let's talk about the battery degradation, whatever you guys want to call it. Is it legit? Is it true? Do people actually know what they're talking about? Now, they are correct on the battery degradation, okay? That is true. Your battery is going to degrade just like the battery in your phone, just like the battery in your laptop. Any lithium battery is going to degrade. Now, here's the part that they don't understand. When you put this in its fastest mode, which, by the way, I'm at 56% battery, so I'm not making my full horsepower like I should be. Sorry about the windshield wipers. When you're in drag strip peak performance, which we're 2 minutes away from that, probably less than a minute actually, what begins to happen is that the Plaid goes through its whole heating up regime of the battery. Now, specifically, listen to what I say, the battery. And it runs glycol through the heat exchanger to cool the synthetic oil. Now, some of you might be confused. Tesla has oils? Yes, Teslas do have oil. And that synthetic oil that is similar to the ones in your gas cars that you can buy at like a Walmart or like a Target or in an auto parts store, cools the motors. That's what it does when you're in high performance. But since this is a Plaid, they have to run something like glycol to cool that synthetic oil 4 times as much, because you're pushing just about 763 kilowatts or 1,000 horsepower, right? So you have to understand that when people say, well, you know, it degrades after a while and loses a little bit of its power. When people run this into peak performance and they do their first run, you have to understand that this heats up, like I said, the battery. But what else do we have besides the battery? The battery is just a power source. What actually makes the wheels spin? The motors, right? So after a few runs, your motors heat up. This heating regime is only for the battery, because it all comes down to the battery. If the battery is not happy, you're not going to be happy, and your Tesla or electric vehicle in general is not going to be happy, right? So you have to understand that after you do a couple runs, like let's say 2 to 3, 3 to 4, you will notice that your times at the drag strip and everything will get better. And that's just how the system works. It needs to be hot. And now this is what it looks like when it's in peak performance, drag strip ready, right? So you guys have to understand, don't believe everything you read on the internet. Now, speaking of performance, after owning this car for just about 2 years and 60,000 miles, what have been some of my craziest kills, right? I unfortunately didn't have my camera with me to show you guys, but what I mean by kills, cars that I have taken out with this that have, like I said earlier, made them cry. My strongest kill that I would say I got was a McLaren 765 LT. And no, it wasn't from zero, from launch, or how the racing community says dig. That is from a roll, 60 to 130. Now, a lot of you can make arguments that maybe he wasn't in the best gear, or something was wrong with his car, or blah, blah, blah. A win is a win. That's why it's called a race, right? Second one down is a Ferrari SF90 that comes a little bit closer to the McLaren, but it's about right there with the McLaren 765 LT. Then, of course, I've ran into Porsche GT3 RSs, but those really aren't that fast cars. They're more designed for the track. This is more of a straight line monster. So those have been my craziest kills in 2 years. Now, a lot of you say, what about Hellcats, Corvettes? I try not to run those cars because I just don't feel like it's the same universe. Have I run them? Yeah. Scatbacks usually try to push me in Camaro LT1s, but for those of you that understand performance, those are not in the same realm of this vehicle, right? So the performance is still crazy like it is from day one, and it's just great. It's awesome. It feels good. And if you haven't experienced it, like I said earlier in the video, and you're talking a lot of trash online, just be quiet. Don't talk about something you don't know about when it comes to a subject that you have no idea about, because once you actually experience this, and I've given a lot of people in the car community, especially in the famous Woodward area, a ride in this thing, and it's been absolutely mind-blowing to see how quickly people change their opinions, because they think the 3 and Y Teslas are it. That's it. There's no more, there's no different. And then they experience this and they're like, holy bejesus, that is mind-blowing fast, right? So that ends the performance section of this video. On to the next one. So many of you probably know me from this channel for the self-driving if you're subscribed, or if you haven't, now you know. I'm known for my short videos and videos of self-driving and being wacky in them. Essentially, what about the self-driving, right? Especially that, you know, Robotaxi event is coming up on 10/10 this Thursday. What's going on, right? How has it been? I've been part of the early beta tester groups, right, since 2020. With my Model 3. And Model 3, if you go back far enough, it is on this channel along with Model Y for 6 months. And then I got this. And then I also have Cybertruck as well. And essentially, it's improved like watching a young teenager to almost a full adult. It's almost there in my opinion, because this new AI version is crazy compared to 4 years ago. And it really feels like it's been 10 years, but it hasn't been, right? It's been a lot shorter of a time period. And as you can see from many of my videos, nothing is perfect in this world, but they have come a long way. And I think personally, since we're on the subject of AI and robotaxi, that robotaxi day, We Robot as they're calling it, is going to be mind-blowing. They're going to have something from us that's going to be crazy. So that pretty much wraps up majority of the video, leaving you guys with some future plans. I don't know how long I'm going to keep my Plaid. I have a feeling that Elon and team are going to announce something on Robotaxi Day after the Robotaxi, so I think they might unveil the next-gen Roadster. If the next-gen Roadster is north of 1,500–1,600 horsepower, you can say goodbye to this Plaid, because I'm just going to drive my Cybertruck and just, you know, continue to wait until I get my invitation to customize my Roadster, which I do have a deposit for the Roadster. So, essentially, that's my future plans for this car if the Roadster comes out. If they end up just scrapping the Roadster, which I highly doubt they will, or anything like that, essentially what I'm going to do for a while is probably get the track pack and pay the $15K and just slap it on this car. Might switch out to a different Plaid that has it and maybe even save a little bit of money. Not sure yet. I kind of like my Plaid and everything I've been through with it, and it generally is, you know, a reliable vehicle. Like I said, I haven't any issues with it. But that's kind of my future plans with the Plaid. Just depends what that Roadster is going to be like. And, you know, is it going to be closer to the Rimac Nevera specs, which I believe it's going to be. And the mind-blowing thing is that it's going to be maybe even faster, who knows, compared to this thing. And if it is, I want to feel that. I live once. I want to experience. I want to make the twin turbo boys cry. So that's my future plans. That is the end of the video. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much for listening to me talk about my $150,000–$60,000 Plaid and my experience on it. So thanks again for tuning in, or if this is your first time, thanks as, you know, someone that is some random from the internet